I'm here with a very distinguished scholar. He's an expert in Sanskritam as well as in Tamil, and he has been awarded the Padma Bhushan by the government of India, and I have a great amount of regard for his work and him as a person. I had the good fortune of meeting him at the World Hindu Congress in September 2018, and we have stayed in contact since. Professor Nagaswamy, welcome to PGurus channel.
Thank you. Thank you.
In this fascinating discussion, we're going to talk about Bharata's Natya Shastra, how it started, and what is the relevance of this to the current day Tamil Nadu. This is a very fascinating story that Professor Nagaswamy is going to share with us. Professor, where did it all start?
You see, Bharata's Natya Sastra is one of the greatest texts that have been composed in India, which has reached down up to the last person in the village level, where the music and dance that has been formulated, that has been carried to the last man in every village. So, and also it is such a scientific text, very beautifully organized, and dealing with all aspects of dance. It's not mere treatise on dance, but it also speaks about language, composition of poetry, costume design, instruments, how to make instruments, instrumental music, vocal music, and construction of a stage, and so on. So it is an extraordinary text which has influenced all poetry in India, whole of India, and also in Southeast Asia. Once it was written, it was Bharata's Natya Shastra's tradition that spread to all these places. And he emphasized what is called the rasa theory, where the aesthetic appreciation of presentation of dance by girls on the stage and drama. Those days both dance and drama were considered and brought under one unit called Natya, Natya, and so on. Exact date it is very difficult to say, but certainly it was much earlier than 1st, 2nd century BC or even earlier. We have a very interesting inscription coming from this famous center, tourist center now, Mahabalipuram.
Yes.
There, the king who had those monumental culture temples, he says, he praises Shiva. But that is a double meaning in this tradition, which will also refer to him also, with all the qualifications. And it's there, he says, Yadina vidhata bharato na yadi narado navas kandaha bodhum kaiva samarthaha sangeetam kalakalasya. The inscription, which means, who can understand the greatness of Sangeeta, of Kalakala. Kalakala, the name of Shiva. Kalakala was also one of the titles of this king. Who can appreciate and understand, unless he is a great author of music and dance like Brahma. Bharata. This is the earliest reference to Bharata in all of India in inscription of material, where he is, unless you are Bharata, you cannot understand the depth and height which this king has reached. Preaching of Sangeeta. Sangeeta stands for Nritya, Geeta and Vadya. It's not music, but it consists of Nritya, pure bodily movement, Nritya, Geeta is music, vocal music, and Vadya, instrumental music. So, the earliest reference to Bharata in inscription occurs in Tamil Nadu. Mahabharata, and that is around approximately about 700. But much earlier, we have the example of Tholkappiyam, which is one of the earliest Tamil grammar available, and it speaks about various aspects that are given in Natya Sastra. Natya Sastra also includes the 108 dance, combination of music, Nritakaram, they are called Nritakaram. And then it also speaks about bodily gestures and eye movement and various aspects of your chin and so on to bring out the expression. It's not expression, it is called suggestion. Its suggestive meaning is passed on. So he has mentioned the rasa theory, and that is also mentioned in Tholkappiyam. He mentions 8 rasas, Bharata mentions as 8 rasas, and Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika Bhava and Vyabhichari Bhava. Vibhavai, Anubhavaischa, Satvikaihi, Vyabhicharibihi, Aniyamanam, Swadutvam. That is called rasa. How all these combined, that is the process of realization of aesthetic joy by looking at drama and dance and music, listening to music, is described in this way as bhava, anubhava, sattvika bhava and vyabhichari bhava. This is what is mentioned by Bharata in his Natya Sastra. And the same thing he mentions, Tholkappiyam mentions in Bharata, in his own Tamil grammar, ancient Tamil grammar. Now, in Tamil, we have a very important division of poetry. One is called Aham poetry, and the other one is called Puram poetry. Aham means that which you realize within your heart of hearts. It cannot be explained to others. Sringara bhava. And so, it is called Aham poetry. The second one is Puram poetry, where Puram, the kings, their lifestyle and educational qualification, the rituals, and in Vedic, in Sangam literature, more references to Vedic sacrifices than in later period. So, Vedic sacrifices, fighting, all these things are all described in the Puram poetry. Death rites and so on. These come under Puram poetry. We have two broad divisions: Aham poetry, Puram poetry. Aham poetry is essentially based on Sringara Bhava. We have more than 2,500 Tamil verses composed in Tamil Nadu between 2nd century or 1st century BC to 2nd century AD. These are called Sangam poems. These Sangam poems consist of these two categories as Aham poem and Puram poem, and out of these more than 1,800 poems are Sringara Bhava and Aham poetry. Evidently, these are all meant to be sung and enacted by ladies whom they call virali, and the others who participated in that and the Puram poetry are only about 500 poems. This division into Aham and Puram is naturally, because it is so overwhelming in Tamil, the scholars feel that it is a unique contribution of Tamil culture. As I said, that Tamil culture is an integrated culture all over India, and so there is nothing to say that it is Tamil exclusive culture. But this Aham and Puram division is already mentioned at the very beginning in Bharata's Natya Sastra.
So let's walk back in timeline to where it all began. why did Bharata come up with this Natya Sastra? And what is his relationship with respect to the gods and so on?
Well, Bharata's Natya Sastra is rooted in the Vedic tradition. In the time of great sacrifices for several days in the evening, and there used to be recitation of great epics in the evening times, and when there is a gap, when they are not engaged in doing this homa and so on, and also music and narration and dance were there in the time of the Vedas, and that is what he imbibed, Bharata imbibed. And so what Bharata says at the beginning is, this is meant to convey dharma, artha, kama and moksha. This is the reason why, through the medium of music and dance. So when he started composing it, he gave how to compose poetry, what emotion has to be brought in what composition and what situation, what is the backdrop that has to be given, what is the costume that has to be designed, what is the color they should have in the body. Each color represents a particular emotion, a green, white, red and so on. So even by looking at the color, those days the people were able to understand who is the character, what is the character who is going to depict such an emotion. So all these he codified, and according to tradition. Anything very great, we trace it to God, So this is said to have come from Shiva. Shiva danced in the evening on the Himalayas, and they are called the Nrityas, Karanas, and Pindi Bhavas, the hand gestures and so on. And that was transmitted to what you call Nandigeshwara, and Nandigeshwara is given to Bharata. So Bharata had 100 sons, including his Sishyas and so on, to whom he gave all these art of dance and music. So this was the first
people who learnt the...
Yeah, most of them are Brahmana, Rishis and so on. And so they learnt it from Bharata. And Bharata went and told Brahma, I am ready, I have already taught all my art to my students, my sons. And then he said, what shall we do now? Then Brahma said, let us have an Arangetram recitation. But he said, no, this is not sufficient. I want for the appreciation of all public, whether sophisticated or villagers, everybody must be able to appreciate it. And that can be achieved only when you depict Sringara Bhava. And when Sringara Bhava is to be done, it is only the girls who can do lasya, sensitive, highly sensitive, suggestive, erotic dance. And so he asked Bharata, you create dances. Bharata asked Brahma, you create dancers, apsaras who can dance. That is how apsaras came into picture. They are called Aramahalir, Deva Mahalir, like that. So, and for depicting it, you need a particular type of music, composition, and that is called vritti. And there were already three vrittis, Arabati, Sadhati and Bharati vrittis. Now he wanted one more vritti to depict the delicate, sensitive Sringara compositions, and that was created by Brahma, called Kaisiki vritti. This is mentioned in Bharata's Natya Sastra at the beginning. So, at the beginning of Bharata's Natya Sastra itself, the musical compositions that are to be used, the poetry, the songs, were divided into the Sringara Bhava poetry and the other forms of poetry, which is called Lasya for the Sringara, and Avidha in other external life, which is called, in Tamil it is called Puram, Purattinai, so on. So the division into Aham and Puram, as Sringara and other aspects, is already there in Bharata's Natya Sastra at the very beginning. That was the composition division that has been taken over by the Tamils, where they divided the poetry into Aham poetry and Puram poetry, Ahattinai and Purattinai. Now, this Ahattinai and Purattinai are mentioned in a structured manner in the beginning of Tholkappiyam. Tholkappiyam, Porul gives how to realize the meaning of the composition. Porul. And there it has first Ahattinai. First it starts with Ahattinai, that is the Lasya form, and then the Purattinai, the external forms, and then there is a chapter on Kalavu, premarital relationship, and then Karpu. Karpu means as prescribed in Vedic Dharma Sastras, Vedic tradition, and administered by the Vedic Brahmanas, and that is how the marriage is legalized. So that is Karpu, and then we have Maypad, which is very important, the Rasa theory of Rasa theory of Bharata's Natya Sastra, taken as it is from Bharata's Natya Sastra and used in Tholkappiyam. So, in the beginning, I said it was Ahattinai. The first introduction is for Lasya, as in Bharata's Natya Sastra. In Ahattinai, they had three divisions, main division. One is called the land and the time and space, where the event takes place. The second one is the land. Second one is the time, and that is one. The second one is called the environment, where everything takes place. That's called Karupurul. But these two are utilized as a background for representing the emotion of one of these rasas, and particularly in Ahattinai it is Sringara rasas. So it is called Uriporul. This Uriporul runs throughout like a thread in Tholkappiyam from the beginning to the very end, which shows Tholkappiyam itself is based on Bharata's Natya Sastra, is meant for dance, and it is a highly structured poetry, almost in every aspect confirming to what is mentioned in Bharata's Natya Sastra. Now, when we go into this, Ahattinai and Purattinai, the commentators, particularly Nachinarkiniyar, gives large number of illustrations from other early Sangam literature. In Sangam literature, as I told you, there are about 2,500 verses.
Yes.
He gives almost like 1,500 verses or so as illustrations of all these sutras. And there he says that this is for this. And they divided the land into 5 parts. Originally 4, and then added one more. One is hillock, whether the event takes place in hillock and its surroundings, or in the forest region, or in cultivated land, settled life, villages and townships, and then on the coastal areas, and then the final, where these two mix up or mingle, these two land divisions mingle. So these are called Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. So in each place, the unique contribution of the Tamils is in each place they associated one type of emotion with it. human emotion.
So when the dancer got on the stage, he actually clearly marked out 4 parts, and based on which part he was performing, that told the viewers that this backdrop now is of either a backdrop of a mountain or a forest or a plain or something like that.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. So that division was also brought by Bharata in his Natya Sastra. It is called Kakshya Vidhanam. Kaksha means you divide it into 4 major parts, and where they mingle, that is the 5th one. It's called Palay. And that one is already mentioned in Bharata's Natya Sastra. There is a separate chapter on it. And what is there, what is the bird, what is the sound, what is the parai, the beat. There are different types of dances suited to each area. All these are mentioned in Natya Sastra, and that you also find it here in Tholkappiyam. That means what has happened in Tholkappiyam is Tholkappiyam is a very clever, intelligent author who structured his whole text. But he is not interested in the technical aspect, because there are other texts which are there in technical aspect on Nritya, 108 Nritya Karnas or Bhavas and so on, that he left it. Other aspects of what is there in the Bharata's Natya Sastra has been taken over. So if you see in Natya Sastra, you will see the technique of dance, Nrityam, Natakam and so on. But that part is not there in Tholkappiyam. But all other aspects of selection of words, the sound value, the communication technique, emotion, how the emotions are to be brought about, all these things are all there in Natya Sastra and Tholkappiyam. So we have a great text in Sanskrit and a great text in Tamil, and this Tamil is also illustrates in other 1,500 of poems, Tamil poems, and that means Tamil poems conform to what is there in Tholkappiyam, and Tholkappiyam is derived from Bharata's Natya Sastra. So the entire gamut of this Sangam literature, which is divided into 2 major parts. One is called Pattu Part, 10 long poem. In this you have mostly the Kutan. Kutan is a dancer. Kutan. Banan is a singer. Porunan, instrumental player. Virali is a dancer, accompanying dancer to the main dancer. These 4, they are sent as ambassadors to other patrons who will give them money and so on. So this is 10 long points running into several hundred lines. It's one group, and most of them are given to these dancers to go and dance. Panaraatrupadai, Perumbanaatrupadai, Sirupanaatrupadai, Porunaraatrupadai. All these things are all connected with music and dance. Similarly, Aham and Puram also we have the same. In most of the thing you get the Banas and Viralis coming and singing in the court of the kings, and occasionally they also mention what great achievement and fame the king received in his war, in his gift to the people, looking after the children and so on. There are many stages, and at every stages of war or every stages of progress of a man, you have a form of dance, and the name of the dance is mentioned in Tholkappiyam. That means the whole of Tholkappiyam is full of dance, references to dance. Even in war front, when the king captures an elephant, there is a dance. When a king cuts off the head of his opponent, there is a dance with his sword. World War, Amalai, there is a dance. He dances with all the people like that. So in every stage of war or peace, of external life or what you call Sringara life or Illaram or married life. Everywhere you get this dance introduced in the Tholkappiyam, and it is extraordinary. And that goes back to Bharata Sastra. And it also integrates the culture of the people. For example, the king goes and invades the opponent's territory. Before going there, he sends his border boundary guards to the opponent's tribe. And there is a Tamil poem in Purananuru which says, Avum Aniyar Parpanamakkalum Pendirim Piniyudayuyirum Arumperal Munnorku Arungadan Irikkum Punbor Pulavar Peradirum. To all these people, he says, before you embark on invading, get them all safe to safe place and tell them you are going to invade and they should not be disturbed. Who are the people? The cows, Anum, Aniyar Parpanamakkalum, the Brahmins who are like the soft cow in their behavior. Aniyar Parpanamakkalum, Piniyudayiram, those who are diseased, those who are suffering from diseases, they should not be caught in the middle of the fighting. So they have to be sent to safety places. Piniyudayiram, Pendiram, ladies should be sent to, and people should have descendants to offer offerings to their dead ancestors. Those who don't have, don't allow them to stay there, let them also go for safety, move them to safety. Except cow, all others can understand what you say, the cow cannot understand. Right. So you bring the whole cow to your territory and protect it. So this is called Dharma Yuddha. And this is mentioned in what you call our Dharma Sastras, and that is mentioned in Purananuru, which means in the Purananuru time, it is the Dharma Sastra that controlled the life of the people, lifestyle of the people. And so there are several references. So say for example, Kalavu was not considered a crime. A pre-marital love was not considered a crime. But it has to be legalized after it became known. And there you perform a regular sacrifice with the Brahmin, and as Karpu, where he performs homa and so on, and get the girl married to male. That is all mentioned in the Sangam poem and also in Tholkappiyam. So it also says that there are 8 different kinds of marriages approved in the Marayordhyayam, in the system of the Vedic Brahmanas. And you have many poems. It's not only prescription in what you call Tholkappiyam, but in the poems, which are original contributions of the poets, there also they say how the marriage was conducted. You will be surprised to see what is going on today in the marriages of domestic marriages and so on. They are exactly there as found in the early Sangam literature, and there they say Andanar Veli Vetpa, like that. So, and then we have the great work Tirukkural. Tirukkural is a different kind of work, that it speaks about the studentship, how to admit a student, how to teach him. That's not mentioned in Tholkappiyam. Tholkappiyam teaches about the words and meanings and so on. But after that, married life, complete, only devoted to married life. Then the king, then the country, the rulership, and the merchants, how to create economy, merchants, and then how to cultivate land and produce food by the cultivators. All these things are all mentioned systematically in Tirukural. So that is a Dharma Sastra that prescribes the lifestyle of the people, as found in Manu, Yajnavalkya, and Apastamba, Drakya, and there are so many scholars. They were there in regional, with different regions, and there are followers even today in Tamil society. Many of them who speak, irrespective of whether they are Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, even Vellalas, they had their own Gotra and Sutra which they followed. We have many texts published in Tamil in the 19th century, where even the Vellalas had their Sutra, that is the Bodhayana Sutra, which they follow. So, in the lifestyle, also you get in the poems, in what you call Tholkappiyam grammar, and also Tirukural, and finally you have that great, wonderful work, Silappathigaram. It is a masterly work. It generally considered as a kavya. It's not a kavya. It is a poem, dramatic composition, which the commentator Adiyar Kunallar calls it as Nagaswamy. Nagaswamy, which means it is meant to be enacted as a dance, drama on the stage. And the way in which he takes the married Kannagi and Kovalan, and then the dancer Madhavi, and then their separation and their movement, and going to what you call Madurai, Aichir, and whatever has been said systematically in all these land divisions, as what you call Marudam, Naidal, then you go through Mullai, then you come to Kurinji, and finally, when someone dies, Skarpin, Patni, she is deified, and a temple is erected. And in the erection of temple, the agamas, there are several agamas in Tamil Nadu, in Sanskrit, which prescribes how to go and get a stone for carving the image, how to consecrate it, and who is to worship and what to do, and so on. It is the same thing is also repeated in Kachi, Kalvol, Nirpadai, Nadudal. You see, it's in Tholkappiyam also it gives the same, and Silappathigaram, he gives the same chapter heading at the last one when Senkutun erects a great what you call temple for Pattinik Kadavul. The entire Silappathigaram is to glorify Karpu, the legalized marriage, and a person like Kannagi who is deified. So you have an outstanding dramatical, I think this is the earliest dramatic composition in India in regional language, following in every aspect Bharata's Natya Sastra and also the Tholkappiyam, both combined together. So it is great. And what happened? Tholkappiyam says in the Agathinai, Nadaga Vazhakkinum, Ulagiyal Vazhakkinum. I am composing it for dramatic convention, and also what is happening in your life. This you are going to depict on the stage. And so there is a what you call fusion of regions, different regions, through the medium of Bharata's Natya Sastra and the local dialect, which developed into classical one in all areas, not only in Tamil Nadu but also in Karnataka, in Kerala. Kerala, what you have Kathakali and all, they are all based on word by word, verb by verb, to Bharata's Natya Sastra, devoted to that. Then in northern part of India. In 10th century, we have one great commentator on Natya Sastra called Abhinava Gupta from Kashmir, extraordinary commentator, wonderful commentator. His original contribution to the understanding of communication technique, and that commentary was written in Kashmir, and then one of the descendants of this what you call it Abhinav Gupta, he came to northern part of Karnataka in Devgiri, and there he composed a work called Sangeeta Ratnakara, and that Sangeeta Ratnakara came down because it was more simpler. It came after nearly a few centuries after Abhinav Gupta and nearly 1500 years after Bharata, and so it was more simplified and brought into Karnataka region, Mysore region, and from there, Govinda Dikshita and his son Venkatamakin, they came to Tamil Nadu and settled in Kumbakonam and Tanjavur region as the ministers of the then ruling Nayak kings of Tanjore, and they composed a beautiful dance text, Sangeeta Sudha, by Govinda Dikshita, and Venkatamaki is called Chaturdandi Prakashika, and there the Melakatta Raga, which we call today as Karnataka Sangeetam.
So that is why it is Karnataka Sangeetam.
That's why it is Karnataka. From Karnataka region, they came here, they wrote the text, and that text is followed. And what is important, and this has been translated into Tamil. Sangeeta Ratnakara has been translated into Tamil, and again further translated in the time of Marathas of Tanjore. And so it is one culture, one music, one dance, but language. Seppum mozhi 18 chintanai ondrudayal.
Even though you may have 18 languages, the thought is one.
That is what Bharati took, and that is what you find. And Adome, Padlu Padome.
Yes.
See, that these are all the impact of Bharata and also Tholkappiyam, continuing tradition. All these division, what we are telling, these are all ignorant divisions.
Well, the message is very clear for those who are trying to understand. I think they'll understand when they watch this video what we mean. So thank you very much, Professor Nagaswamy. It was a pleasure talking to you about this. And viewers will be back with more such fascinating conversations. He truly is a treasure trove to be cherished, and it's just incredible how many areas of expertise he has. I mean, I just sat down for a few minutes and we discussed about these topics, and here he is. He has been, he's crossed 15 centuries of knowledge and learning. So thank you very much, Professor Nagaswamy.
But remember that it is not only in music and dance, in the legal system, in the judicial system also. It is the same thing that we find all over India, in Assam, in Bihar, in Bengal, in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, everywhere. Through the centuries, one has to, for scientific studies, go through the written characters and written documents that are available all over the country to understand how there was only one system of legal terminology, with regional variation, of course, through the centuries. But that is also another factor that brings that our Tamil, Bharata Kandamadil, Tamil as a part of Bharata Kanda, that is our Tamil Thai Varthu.
Right.
So I don't think most people are interested in divided identity. They are all, Tamil people are very sensible, very honest and very simple, and political here and there, something here and there.
Well, we need to go back and cherish what we have developed over the centuries, and I think hopefully there's going to be a renaissance very soon, and we will get back. This is all here, right here. It's not gone away anywhere. So